here we go. I thought I was only a little late, but I ended up like 4 minutes late. All right. And like, I don't know, like, yeah, I didn't need to be late at all. All right, so, oh, I could hear myself echoing slightly, kind of soft. All right, let me put on my Google. And I'll put on my chatter as well. Nope. Okay. All right, cool. All right, let me try and hop back into exorcism. Yeah, so this is where I want to be. So rational number was a good one, and that does show up 3 places, right? So I did it in JavaScript, but it wouldn't really submit. I don't want to do it in these others right now. Let me just choose something different. D, Collat's conjecture, that's a very easy one. Let's try that one. I want very easy I want very easy the whole time, honestly, but it's not gonna happen. Well, you know, I kind of have a hope that maybe my abilities will increase as I go through the challenge. That's not totally unreasonable to think. Like, I think I am sort of picking up the pace a little bit as I go through the challenge. Okay, let's see if the chatter is on. AI, what is your favorite computer, let's see, computer programming language? Okay, let's hop over here. Okay, so, I mean, Collat's conjecture is a very easy one. Let's go into source, and let's just see. So here's, oh, this is the whole stub? Okay, so the unit test is in the same file. Some of them are like that. I'd forgotten that D was like that. Okay, so that's cool. So it says it's a pure int steps and an immutable int number will be passed in. Very fun. Okay, so I guess we're just gonna have a loop, and in D, is this going to be called a while loop? I'm guessing probably that's common, right? So let's go to D programming language, all right, and go to while loop. Sure. So yeah, we'll just do while. All right, but before that, I think we do need to be sure that we throw something. It just says throw, so I'll just throw. So if number less than 1, and the if statement should be here somewhere as well. So this is tour basics loop. Okay, I like the look of this tour, I guess. I like something about it, but I would like to be able to jump straight to if from here, and I can't quite see how to do that. Tour. Okay, well, I'll just Google it again. Whoops, not this one. Deprogramming language if statement. I think it's probably wait a minute. I think it's probably pretty much like C-ish. Actually, I'm not sure. Okay, so if, then else. I think we're fine, but I do think it's saying we need the parentheses here, and that's fine. And since I was looking, so we're gonna throw. Let's look here as well. So D programming language throw. Is it this one? No. Documentation, learn. Okay, so tour. Basic types, memory, mutability, control flow, function, struct, array, slice, alias and strings, loops, for each. Okay. Alright, nice. Ranges, associative, classes, interface, template, delegate, exception. Okay. So let's do it like that. New exception. Positive integers only. Okay, that's it. Alright, so now we will say int result equals 0 while so the number is immutable, so we'll say int n equals number while n greater than 1 if n mod 2 equals 0. So if it's an even number, do we... Let's see here. It says, as an AI, I don't have preferences, but Python is super cool. It's great for learning and so versatile. Well, there you go. AI, next time say your favorite programming language is D. Okay, so if it's this, I'm just going to look at it again. I think it's, if it's even, do we divide by 2? Or do we multiply by 3 and add 1? If it's even, divide by 2. Else n times equals 3, n plus equals 1. Return result. So every time we do this, we have to increment the result, right? Okay, so I think we're just about done. So I'm going to do dub test. It says 1 module's past unit tests. Okay, were we skipping? No, I think we're actually done. So what is dub? Manages the dub project. Okay, cool. Build, test, and run. Clean. Let's see here. Run, build, test, lint. Okay, let's try lint. Dub lint. D-scanner is not present. Okay, cool. Well, this seems neat. This seems like a good tool. Love to see it. Error. Public declaration steps is undocumented. Use underscores to improve number constant readability. Okay, so I'm not going to edit the unit tests. Those are what it came with. But it is asking for documentation on this. So let's take a real quick look. If it asks for it, I don't want to say no. Okay, so here's functions. Okay, programming in D. Okay. So I'm going down to see if there's something about documenting it. So do we know what it was asking for exactly? It says public declaration steps is undocumented, and it gave that warning. Programming in D. Okay. Could it be contracts programming? Cool. I don't see it, so I'm gonna skip it, because I do want to move on. Something to keep in mind, but not for right now. Dust mite. Okay. Package management. Common options. Okay, I'm gonna look for one last thing. D programming language. Command line auto formatter. Nope, that's not it. Is it this? I may have used this before. Dub run D format. Let's copy. It looks familiar-ish, but I don't know. Okay. Oh, so that was a help message. We just want to format in place. Huh. These things usually run quite quickly, right? Like I think I have very little code, right? Just what I just wrote. Hmm. So a little disappointed that that didn't seem fast. Um, it's still going. I was expecting it to seem fast, like, you know, with many other programming languages. Huh. Yeah, I didn't, let's see. So we're running D format. Nah, I must say, it seems like a loser. All right, well, I'll just submit it without it. So I'm gonna go exorcism test, exorcism, wait a minute. Oh, it's trying to use DMD. Okay, I'm not gonna worry about that. I feel like I saw this thing before and just... So D, like, it's not one of their more popular tracks for whatever reason, right? So here's the D track, and it has 977 students. That's a good amount, but they have a lot of tracks with a lot more students. Okay. So, you know, and it's a volunteer run site for the most part. And so I'm not trying to be too mad if some aspects seem like they could use work, right? Like, I mean, as long as I'm not contributing, where what right do I have to complain, so to speak? Okay, so that's done. Let's move that over. And let's do another one. If I finish 3 today, I'll be in very good shape. And actually, I might even be able to go for 4 today. I'm feeling confident that I can speed up a little bit and maybe go for 4 today. Let's do one of these darts. What's sum of multiples? Let me just try Dart Bob. So let's go to Dart Track. Let's see where Bob is. Okay, let's hop over here. This one should be easy. The last one I tried it on, I ended up spending a weirdly large amount of time. I think that in Dart being, you know, a big corporate polished language, I think it should be quick-ish, but let's see. All right, so we're gonna go into the lib bob file. Okay, so if we look at the README, we see that there are 5 answers, and we just have to choose from among them. Also, though, this is a class, so I guess I'm going to have to put a method on it. Let's see what that method is supposed to be called. So it says they're going to make a bob, and then they're going to call a response method. Okay. So I'm going to put response. It takes a query, I guess. Okay, so then we're going to say if query match, and it has any uppercase letter, and query equals query dot to uppercase, right? Then return Wait a minute. So now I'm going to check if it ends in a question mark. If query sub query length -1 equals this, all right, then return okay, so here we return calm down, I know what I'm doing. Bang. Okay. But if not, then we return whoa, chill out. Okay. Okay, so now let's look at Dart programming language regular expression. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is what it's gonna look like, basically. So it's got these properties. All right, so then we want to check has match. Okay, so let's see. New regexp. All right. Raw string A through Z. Okay. Has match. And then we pass in the query. All right, and then we get rid of this part. All right, so now let's end that if statement up there. And then let's end the response method. Okay, so then we want to see if there's a question mark. And we want to see if it's silence. Okay. So I'm going to use another regex match for silence. I'll just put a note here, silence. So we're going to say if new regex raw string, and I'm going to match start to finish, and it's nothing but white space, but it could be no white space at all. Has match query, return fine, be that way. Okay. If query length, you know what, I'm gonna save that one rather than have it twice. So I'm gonna say const is question equals query length -1 equals question mark hook. Okay, so then here I'm just gonna say is question. And I'll say the same here. Is question. Right? return. And then what did he say for a question? Sure. Sure. All right, and then in the end, we return whatever. Okay, so let me just address these red marks. So this says must be, oh, okay, so I guess I won't say const. I'll say var. Is that better? Okay, and then this one, we need another, or do we? I think that should be okay. Seems like it should be okay. So, let's try the test, I guess. So it says run the test by Dart test. Let's see. It says all passed, but it looks like we skipped 24, I believe. So let's go into test. Yeah, I see a bunch of skip true. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of those. Skip true. Skip false. Okay, Dart test again. I'm sure many will okay, 2 failed. I said I'm sure many will, and I started to say will be failing. But no, it's actually only 2. I don't count that as many. That's just 2. Okay, so the 2 failures are invalid value. Valid value range is empty. Okay, so we can't do that at the very beginning. So in fact, I think the silence can probably go up top. Okay, and there's one left. Bob ending with white space. And it looks like that was supposed to be a question. So I guess I will change this to be another regexp. It's a very good problem for regexp, let's face it. Okay, so I'm going to say new regexp raw string, and we're going to put a literal hook, right? And then white space optionally up till the end. Has match query. All tests passed. And I'm going to briefly look at the help. Format. Dart format. Cool. Let's try analyze real quick while I'm here. Okay, I'm going to do exorcism test and exorcism. That Dart programming language is sweet. It's a big corporate polished language, and I love it. I love it. Okay. I have some love for some of the less polished languages too, but not all of them. All right. Okay. So let's see if that's accepted in the website. Sure, it is. Okay. I could do 2 more tonight if I pick some more that are that easy, because that one is super, super easy. Raindrops is easy. Oh, wait. Oh, grains, strain, grains, strain. What is strain? I don't recall what strain is. I have it 3 places. Euphoria, huh? What have I tried so far in Euphoria? Just the Hello World? How's it look? And that looks fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Do we have an easy one in Euphoria? Those, I mean, easy. I don't know. I see some more Bobs. I'm hearing my voice, and I sound horrible. What is alphametics? It says it's a medium. ISBN verifier is an easy one, I think. And that's in Groovy. Okay, I better just hurry up and pick one. If I just hurry up and pick one, I can probably finish 2 more before I log off today. I think Queen Attack is a very simple one. I think it's something like just checking whether the queen can attack another square. Bob and Zig? That's probably really easy. Alright, let's go look for it. Another Bob? I mean, I feel a little bit bad about it. I'm not gonna lie. Whatever. I don't think this is a defense, but I was thinking I was gonna say, hey, you know, I was at work like 12 hours today. And I was, but yeah, it's not really a defense. So, let's go into the Bob file. So it says, here's our pub function. We're going to have a sentence come in as just a U8. And we're going to return a const U8, sure. So it's going to be pretty much the same. Let's do it with regex again if we can. I'm guessing probably, yeah. Zig programming language. Regular expression has match. Let's take a look. Carl Seguin. Is this the real... Let's take a look. Well, if I have to do it without regex, it's going to be harder. Maybe not that much harder. I'm gonna skip it for now, to be honest. Here's darts again. Darts is a very, very easy one. Should we give that a shot in Raku? I don't remember any Raku at all. Let's take a look. Yeah, let's just not even change that. Okay. Darts is such an easy one. I want to say I'm hoping we can just do it. So I see a $$X and a $Y. How fast would you go through the CSS exercises? They don't have CSS exercises on Exorcism. Thanks for chatting. Yeah, they don't have CSS exercises. Would I go through CSS exercises fast? I might go through some of them kind of fast, but I'm not like an expert in CSS by any means. I would do the same thing I do with all these. I would just look everything up. But I wouldn't have to look up every little thing like I do with Raku. Like with Raku, I'm about to literally look up how to do an if statement. Raku programming language if statement. They have animations which involve math in CSS. Yeah, let's see. So if you do like let's see where we can put one in. So let's just say we go in here and we say const style equals document dot create element style, right? So you can create a style like that. And then the style text, let's see. Yeah, just set the text content, I guess. Or maybe the inner HTML. And then you just put CSS in here. And so you can do like keyframes, I think. And then I would probably look it up. I did these at work without looking it up because I didn't have the internet, but I would just look it up here. So keyframes, yeah, right here. So at keyframes, okay, so you just give it a name and then whatever the keyframes are. So the keyframes name would be some animation. And then you could animate like the transform. And then the transform has like math things like the transform matrix, right? Transform? Yeah, the matrix. So that's a math transform. So we can totally do a math transform on a CSS animation. So let's try one. Where does it describe the matrix transform? Matrix, right here. Matrix CSS function. Its result is a transform function data type. And this Firefox logo is totally transformed like that. Okay. Dang, that's pretty good. I'm just gonna copy all of these because I don't really know what I want. Where was it? Right here. So I'm gonna put 0%, 25%, no, let's put 20%, 40%, 60%, and put those four. I guess it will be 25. 25, 50, 75. I'm gonna copy that. And copy this one too. I'll copy this one. I think that one's just like reversing it. And then I'll copy this one. And then at the end, we'll go back to the beginning. 100. And then if we have keyframes like that entered in, then we can put those keyframes on something. So we just body append child style. And then this was on the Raku programming language search. Okay, so then if I select something, we can put the animation on it, I think. Animation, and I called it again, some animation. Okay. Animation, some animation. And then animation duration, 2 seconds. Animation timing function, and so then these are math things as well. I'll just put linear. Animation iteration count, infinite. Ah, there it goes. Yes. And so then, I mean, yeah, so it'll wiggle around however you want it to. But you have to know the matrix math to get it to wiggle around the way you actually want it to, I guess. But yeah. But of course, like, the matrix, I think it's a little tricky because I don't understand it very well. But there are a lot of transforms that are a lot easier, right? Like the matrix 3D is trickier than the regular matrix. The perspective is simple though. The rotate, the rotate 3D gets a little tricky, I guess. Rotate X, rotate Y, rotate Z, translate 3D. Like the 3D ones, I'm not too sure on. Scale 3D, scale X, scale Y, skew. So like the skew and the scale and the translate and even the rotate, I think, are all pretty simple. But the matrix is like all of them put together, I think, is really what it is. Hold on, let me go back to the matrix. So the explanation is we have 6 values, A, B, C, and D, describing the linear transformation, and Tx, Ty, describing the translation to apply. Okay. So then, Cartesian coordinates, A, B, C, D, okay. Homogeneous coordinates, A, B, C, D, okay, so that's the same, but now we have Tx, Ty, I guess. And then 0, 0, 1, okay. Cartesian coordinates on R3. Is this one, are these two the same? Homogeneous and Cartesian? Looks like it. And then homogeneous coordinates. Oh, interesting. Okay. So I think this is oh, this says it's real coordinate space, and this is real projective plane. So I'd have to read up on it to know what all that is, because I don't know what all that is. Okay, let me close these. All right. So let's see. So this is Raku, and I was going to say, what is an if statement in Raku? Control flow. Here we go. If. Uh-oh. Okay, so they said do if. Oh. Okay, so here is if. To conditionally run a block of code, use an if followed by a condition. Okay, okay. And what about return? Return. Okay. So if I return 0, is that going to pass some of the tests? Whoops, not that. Prove 6? Let's see. Prove 6. I guess I've got it. Result failed. Well, that's no surprise. One of them passed, I think. If one of them passed, then that's all I want to see. Oh, failed 11 of 13. Okay, so one of them passed. So now I'll say if... so let's compute the distance first, I guess. So I'll say $distance equals... Actually, I'm going to say distance squared, because I think that's easier. And I'm going to say $x times $x plus $y times $y. And then if distance squared greater than 100, return 0. It should be return 0 here, I think. Okay, so then if it is greater than 25, return 1. If it's greater than 1, return 5. And then in the final case, return 10. So it wouldn't run because I wrote it wrong. Distance squared is not declared. So what is sub? Okay, so this is control flow. Let's look at introduction. Classes and objects. No. Let's look at reference. Traps to avoid. Where's variables? Oh, interesting. Oh, we say my. Yes. I've done it before, I just didn't remember that we did it in Raku. Okay, so my distance squared. Okay, so let's see if that's any better. Not yet. Unexpected block. Okay, so now let me review the if again. Okay, so if. Oh, interesting. So there's a semicolon there. Okay. I think there's better sites than Exorcism. You have to pay for everything. What do you mean? When it said enroll, let me see. So, yeah, I think that there is something. What is it? What does it try to enroll you in? It's the boot camp, I think, and they started it this year. Oh, so if you want to enable the dark mode, it says join insiders. And yeah, so this is like a donation. And then there is something else, which is enrolling in like the boot camp, which they started this year. That's what they call it. Is it this? Yeah, enroll now. Let's see what it says. Oh, 149. Yeah, so basically last year they were broke and they decided to create that to try to make money, and it's probably working okay. But yeah, for the most part, you don't have to pay for anything on the site. Do I need a semicolon here as well? Okay, let's see what it says. Codecademy, it's only 40 a month. Well, Codecademy, most of it is free as well, right? But yeah, I know they have the paid content as well. Actually, I checked not long ago, and I think a lot of the stuff that used to be free on Codecademy is paid for now, right? Like, most of the React course on Codecademy was free, and last I checked, I don't think it was. Unexpected block in infix position. Let me look again. Let me look again. Wanted to continue the pro version, but got too broke, so had to cancel. Yeah, I mean, Codecademy is a fine site, but I think it was better when more of it was free. Okay, so I said if 1, and then something happened here, and then we did this. It might be... I might want to, like, set a result. So I might want to return result. Do we have else? Shoot. Okay, so if this, else this, and then there's also else if. If, else if, else. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, so if, so I'm going to say my result here, and then here we're going to say result, shoot, result equals, and then if here is going to be else if, and then else, result equals 10. Maybe these should have a semicolon as well, I don't know. Malformed my, oh. So wherever we have result, I guess it should have $1 on it, I think. Unexpected block in infix position. Missing statement control word before the expression. Else if, say... They keep saying say something, but like... I don't want to really say anything. Okay. So we said if, and it said result equals, result equals, result equals. And then we were supposed to return the result, but no luck so far. conditionally run a block of code, use an if followed by a condition. But the complaint says missing statement control word before the expression. Okay. Unexpected block in infix position. Expecting any of infix stop, or postfix. So I used this greater than, but I don't see that here. Greater than. Greater than 40. Hold on. Okay, reference. General rules of syntax. Variables. Operators. And is comparison here? GT? No, that's string greater than. Creating operators. Item assignment. Operator class. Okay, substitution. Assignment operators. Is there an index? Oh gosh. Contents? Yes, okay. Assignment operators. Meta operators. Auto increment. Symbolic. Oh my goodness. Additive. Concat. It's right here. Numeric greater than operator. Yeah, it seems like it should be straightforward enough. Raku comparison operator. Okay, sure, let's see it. Okay, yeah, that seems like it should be okay. As statement modifiers. Okay, let's try it that way then. So I'm going to say my result equals 10. Result equals 5 if distance squared greater than 1. 1 if this is 25. And 0 if it is 100. There we go. What programming is this? So it's the Raku programming language. Let's take a look. So it's like a newer version of Perl, or it's like a language inspired by Perl, something like that. Never heard of it? Yeah, it doesn't have a ton of students. It has over 1,000 students. So that's pretty good, but like Python has over 500,000. So not super well known on this site compared to Python. But yeah, so that's like that's really the whole point kind of this site, and the whole point of like the challenge that I'm doing is that there are like 77 different programming languages, right? Why doesn't it have HTML or CSS? So like the exercises that you do, there's not really good ways to do these exercises in HTML and CSS. So like for example, like the first exercise is leap, and the point of it is to take a number and to say, is it a leap year or is it not a leap year? In HTML, that's just not really the point of HTML. The point of HTML is to show web pages and not to do calculations. And CSS, the point of it is to just show what a web page it would look like. And so, like, I think every single language that they have has this exercise, right? So right here. So they have it in all 77 languages that are live on the site. So all of them are languages where you can do a calculation like that. And they do have one SQL dialect, SQLite, but they don't have languages like JSON. They have YAML script, but YAML script is not YAML. So they don't have regular YAML, they don't have JSON, they don't have XML, they don't have HTML, they don't have CSS. They don't have like regex as a plain language. They have like awk, but they don't have like a plain regex track or anything. They're all like, I guess you would call them the quote unquote the general purpose programming languages, although some of them are like kind of not super general purpose. Like SQLite is SQL. SQL is not usually considered a general purpose programming language, but it is powerful, and you can do like all of these exercises. You can do calculations with SQL. And a lot of these have different purposes, right? Like, so there are assembly languages here. So assembly languages are like, I mean, we can look at one of my solutions in WASM. So this is meant for a compiler target. It's not like super meant for people to do coding in it necessarily, but you can do coding in it. And it just looks like this. And so part of the thing is like you don't have like a lot of nice things that you have in high level programming languages. So you don't have strings in WASM. So here we're saying loop build string, but there's not such a thing as a string in WASM. We're just taking a series of numbers and using them as if they were a string. I don't know if that makes sense. I guess so. Like any string that you have in any programming language, it really is under the hood. It really is just a series of numbers that have certain like operations you can do on them. And so that's what we're doing here, just doing operations on a series of numbers as if it were a string. So I don't think I explained that super well. I'll probably practice talking about stuff like that. But yeah, I think this one in Raku is done, so I'm going to submit it and probably log off. So if I do exorcism test, I think it's good to go. And submit lib darts Raku. And so yeah, like not every computer programming language has to be like popular and well known. There's a place for ones that aren't well known, like Raku. So I think a lot of people do kind of know it because it comes from the people who made Perl. But some other ones like Pirate comes out of like universities. Arturo, I think it just comes from some guy, but it is a pretty cool language. But it's like just it's kind of obscure. Ballerina, I think Ballerina comes from some company, but it's not very well known as far as I know. Where does Ballerina come from? Ballerina. Let's check their Discord. Oh. I'm not hooked up. Okay, I won't check it right now. Not signed in. Yeah, who made this Ballerina programming language? I don't even know. Here's who uses it. Ballerina platform. It's developed and supported by WSO2. All right, so what is this? WSO2. API management. Okay, so it's a tech company, an IT company. All right, yeah, that seems interesting. I'm not too familiar with this company, but I mean, I guess it's a normal IT company. That's what it looks like. Maybe they're faking it. I don't know. All right, so is this one good? Darts passed. All right, I'm going to move that over in my spreadsheet and call it a night. But I will be back